Hello Aries, thank you very much for tuning into your general read. For the main part of the read I'm using Witch's Tarot by Ellen Dugan. For supportive oracle cards I'm going to use Queen of the Moon Oracle by Stacey DeMarco. I really like her cards. I don't know why I have to say that so much, but I do. Alright, we've already shuffled. Let's see what we have for Aries. Okay. We got a bit of cards out here so far. Okay. This isn't its realization. Okay, so when it comes to whatever's going on here, there's a change. Like, you got some powerful cards coming in. Starting it off is the Queen of Swords. That's on your side. This is in the past. Now, whoever you're dealing with, whatever you're dealing with, you don't have any hang-ups telling them where you're standing. And I know for Aries, you're like, well, you know, if I need to say something, I'll say something. But I feel like this is a person you're used to dealing with, that they seem to understand where you're coming from. Because once in a while, Aries will have to just... You'll have to edit a little bit or just keep things out because, you know, it's just going to get you into this long, drawn-out ridiculousness. So, like, I've noticed this with Aries. You will, like, hold back a comment if you feel like it's going to lead into some long, drawn-out conversation that you're not really interested in. So, I feel like this is a person, though, that you can say whatever's on your mind. They drop it when you want them to drop it. They're receptive. They understand what you're thinking. Like, they pretty much get where you're going with it. So you don't have to constantly, you know, explain why you said this or why you said that. And you don't have to go round and round the mulberry bush here with a conversation if you say something that somebody doesn't like. This person understands you. You can say what you want to say. That's a big thing. Now, this is something, again, you get along with this person. 10 of Pentacles. I feel like you've gotten along with this person for a long time. It could be a family member, yes. I'm feeling a lot of work connections for most of you, but definitely take it with a grain of salt, whatever way it fits for you. But this is somebody who's been around. Either way, they've been around, and you feel very comfortable. They're very comfortable with you. Now, the thing is, they have the Five of Cups reversed. So when I'm seeing this, something isn't right, but they're ignoring it. So if it's somebody you work with, like, I feel like they might be going through a change, and they're just not... They're not addressing what this change is going to do to the relationship they have with you. Or if this is a family member, they're getting ready for a move, or somebody's coming into their life, something like that, where it's going to change the relationship between the two of you, but they're ignoring it, is what I'm getting. Now, this is more in the past, for most of you, of course, because I have watched some of the comments, and like it just, as soon as we get into the reading, you're like, well, that's where I am right now. The past is where I am right now. So take it with a grain of salt. Go where you need to go with it. But I'm feeling like this is somebody who, the change is coming, but they're ignoring how this is going to affect the relationship they have with you. They just, whatever it is that's coming forward, whether it's like a job change or somebody's coming into their life or they're moving in some respect, they're ignoring how this is going to affect the relationship they have with you. They don't want to see it, so they're just ignoring it. You might see it clearer than they do. That's the thing. With you, with the Queen of Swords on your side, it's kind of like you're aware that could create some changes, but they don't seem bothered by it. So you're like, well, maybe it'll sail on smoothly. Maybe it won't matter. We'll still be as close. We'll just be connecting through different means. So it seems to be fine with you. The other side doesn't seem upset, but I feel like they're ignoring what this change is going to do to the relationship. All right, so this is what's happening next. The wheel hits. It seems to be on your side, actually, with the Empress is here in the center. I'm getting like there's a change coming for this other person, and you know that, but it seems to have inspired you to make changes in your own life. And I've seen this happen with Aries before. You're kind of considering things, and you're like, well, let me check this out. Let me see that. Before you know it, for example, you're at a job and you're like, it's all right, but I could do better. And you see somebody else going for something and you're like, well, why don't I just see what's going on around for me? Why don't I see what's going on at this place or whatever? And you get caught up in it. Before you know it, you're also creating your own change. Because that's what I feel is happening here. Like, somebody else is going through a change and you're like, that sounds like a good idea. I wonder what's possible for me. And just by tracking down possibilities, you find an opportunity you want, you go for it, and you get it, is what I'm getting. So it's not like you're planning to go through this next change. It just seems like, you know, possibilities are out there. I wonder what's out there for me. Oh, that looks like a good one. Oh, I'd actually like that one. And then you get it. It just seems to, like, take a life of its own. Like, you're actively making it happen, granted, but it's just kind of like you're getting inspired, and then all of a sudden you got something new. And you're like, oh, well, there you go. Just kind of happened for me. The Empress in the center is telling me this is good. This other person is happy for you. But I feel like the change you're going through, plus the change they're going through, that's making them very nervous. Because I feel like, especially if this is somebody you're connected with job-wise, and they're going in a different direction soon, now you're going in a different direction, they're nervous. They're very bothered by this because they really do value the connection they have with you. That's why they have the Shadow Side card. A lot of decks, this is the Devil card, but I feel like it is a fear card here. Because they're very happy for you. They see where you're going. They're going somewhere too, but they're thinking since you're both heading different directions at the same time, close enough anyway, maybe within a couple months, that they're afraid the connection between the two of you is going to suffer, and they're really questioning and worried about like what comes next for the connection they have with you. We're good. All right. So let's keep going forward here. Because the next card for you is the Death card. And what I'm getting here is that a lot of changes are happening. I don't feel like it's just one with the Death card. And the question is, will this relationship with this person fall away? Whatever this relationship is. And at this moment, I feel like when you're going through your changes, they're going their direction, you're going your direction. You're optimistic about it, but like the Death card is saying, life is changing. How you add up will definitely change. So for example, if this is a work connection, you're going to have to create a personal connection where you see each other outside of that norm if you want this to continue going. Because there's a big change coming in here, a big change. And I'm getting here, you're going forward, they're going forward. You have the Knight of Wands, which is interesting because it's not really a shock at this point, but it is happening. When it finally happens, it's kind of like, it's almost like you know the date is like 2 weeks out, and while that's coming up, it doesn't seem like it's that close, but then all of a sudden it's there, and then everything just happens all at once. It's not unexpected, but when everything changes, it changes all at once, is what it feels like to me. And this other person is very happy for you. They got the Ten of Cups, and they also have realization connecting them to the situation, like, this doesn't have to end, and they feel like, you know, it's partly up to them to keep this connection going, to keep this connection alive. This is definitely somebody who they don't want you to leave their life. They just do not. Because what's coming next is the Knight of Swords on their side after this. Like, after this change happens, they're going to move towards you. They're going to communicate towards you. Yeah, they got action. With the Knight of Swords, which is communication, they had this card actually like this, which is telling me they're going to be very, very motivated. They do not want this to disappear. They're going to be very motivated to keep it going. In the beginning, they're going to be tracking you down to keep you in their life. Now these are both face down, which means this is how this is affecting you. Oh. Okay. What you're going towards next, this change you're going into, it's a lot. It's a lot. Now, you want to keep this friendship too, or this connection. Whatever this connection is, I do feel like you would like to keep it, but you've got a lot on your plate all of a sudden. I feel like life has dealt you a lot of things. And I don't feel like they're bad. There's a couple things that are challenges, but for the most part, you have a lot of good things going on. And what I'm getting from this is like you're fighting to keep it together. It's almost like you're spinning plates. You're just kind of like, I have to stay focused. I have to keep this going. I don't know if spinning plates is a simple way to put that, but like you literally have to keep on things to keep them going. And there's a lot for you to keep your eye on, a lot for you to keep focused on. And what I'm getting is some things, you're going to lose some of these things. You got the justice reversed here. So when this moment happens, and I feel like this is what this whole reading is about, you could lose this friendship connection, whatever this connection is with this person, even if it's a family connection, it could fall away, not to where it's completely gone. Even if it's a friendship, it won't be completely gone, but you might lose that closeness and connection if you don't pursue it back with the same intensity the other person is. They're going to keep coming at you for a while, and they're going to keep trying and keep working with you to try to keep the connection. I'm just getting you have a lot going on. And the point of this is, it's true, you don't have to worry about this other person losing interest and wanting to be a part of your life. But if your life gets so busy and you're keeping all these plates spinning and you're keeping all your attention on these other things, this relationship, whatever it is, will fall away. And I feel like the reason they're bringing it forward is because you're not going to intend it to. You're not going to want it to. But if you get sidetracked with all these things and you're going from this to that and you're so busy with this and you're so busy with that, it's just going to naturally fall away. If you want to keep this connection, you have to actively search it out, actively keep it involved. You might even have to make phone reminders to keep how are things going with so and so this week. Like I know some people put once a week or maybe twice a week phone reminders, just a question to pop up for themselves. How is so and so doing, or how is this going? You know what I mean? Just to keep them in that loop. Like, oh yeah, I haven't talked to so and so in a while, and I want to keep them in my life. Life is so busy; it literally takes those reminders because they don't want that to fall away, so they have to keep it on track. It might take something like that. I'm getting you don't want this to fall away, but life is so busy, and it's going to be like this probably for the majority of this year. For those of you this is hitting with, it's going to be like this for the majority of this year. So if you keep up this pattern, like those phone reminders for the majority of this year, for like maybe you want to make the reminder out for this whole year, you'll get through this, things will simmer down again, and you'll still have this connection with this person, and after this time period passes, it won't be such a challenge, and you'll be thankful it's still there. If you don't do something along those lines, by the time you turn around, the connection will be very distant. And I just feel like it's going to be hard to bring the energy back together. Not that it's impossible, it's just going to be a lot more work to do it. These little reminders along the way, just a little conversation here and there, it makes it really easy. It doesn't make it such a big deal. And you'll have something when it's over that you want. I just feel like the other way makes it a lot more stress. And it's almost kind of like, you might get to that point feeling like, well, the connection kind of went its way. And unless you actively pursue it and work on it to bring it back, it's not going to come back. And I think we're there with that. All right. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, james4astral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.